Welcome to NET Vaper Reviews. Today's review is part review, part experiment. We're going to look at the Smart Coil from Wotofo. Now this is a concept that I've seen already before on the Nest RDA, where you've got a little housing, like a metal round housing. Inside there you've got your mesh coil surrounded with cotton, inserted in the center and surrounded with more cotton to keep your juice moisten, your coil moisten. This was a brilliant idea. I very much enjoy this RDA. If you follow my channel, you know that during the day I am primarily a mouth to long RTA naturally extracted tobacco vapor. This is the Expromiser V5 on my Drag 3 mod. I love this setup. This is my all-day vape. Yep. Among others. I'm sure you watched reviews on my RTAs mouth to long. But in the evenings I do like a bit of a change for the palate, a change for the mood. And I enjoy always my tobaccos later. But for half an hour to an hour, I enjoy vaping on fruity, delicious, or dessert, all types of liquids, not tobacco, for half an hour to an hour. Now this kit here, the Vaporesso Swag PX80, I'll leave a link above, is ideal for me. It is so pocket friendly, it's got tremendous flavor, easy to change your coils, very good airflow. Watch my review on this. But there's one little problem. The coil. Now, this is the coil that came with this tank. Now, I've been using this now for a few weeks, and I started to feel the flavor is not at its peak. So, what do? It's a stock coil. If I'm an RTA, I clean my coil, re-wick, and back to square one. Beautiful flavor. Here, you need to throw out your coil and start all over again. So you spend a lot of money on coils. I wanted to do an experiment to build the mesh coil with this kit, to put it in this tank, and then imagine I've used it for months. That what takes me roughly on this, my half an hour here there. Clean that coil, re-wick it the same way I do with the Nest, and fresh flavor all over again on the same coil. So before we carry on talking about it and how it worked, let me put you through to the close-up I done earlier, and there you can see how we build this coil. You've got all the necessary tools and mesh and wick that I didn't use, you'll see yourself. And then what I've done, I speeded it up, the last section, but I just took out the coil and I dry fired it and then re-wicked it and redone it again, and now it's the second time I'm using. So this is the Smart PnP coil in here. This was the original coil I'm going to throw out soon in the bin, and I'm getting top flavor. Apple and pear from Just Juice. Very nice. Very refreshing. So, let's go to the close-up. Enjoy the music at the last bit where I speed it up, and then we'll come back on top. Right, so let's have a look at the Smart Coil from Wotofo. It's a very similar concept to the Nest RDA from Naturevape. Now the coils from Naturevape, I've been using the same coil for quite a while. I take it out, clean it, re-wick it, put it back like as if any other rebuildable coil. So hoping that we can do the same with this. So we'll save a lot of money to spend on new coils for this tank in particular that I enjoy quite nicely in the evenings. The Vaporesso PX80. Yep, So this coil is about, I'm starting to feel it's already losing a bit of its flavor, so it's a good time now to give this a go. Okay, so let's see what's in the box. First of all, you get a very nice manual with all the instructions on how to do it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show now on the screen. You'll be able to see on the screen a photo of the picture of a diagram rather of this instructions manual, so you can freeze it now on your screen, and you can have a good look. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through it properly in any case. So right in here you get 6 coils, all 0.2 ohm, yeah, 37 to 43, the same wattage here. But here's a bit more. Max extremes 45 to 55, and here you can see the design of the coil. So we're going to take out a coil. I don't want to lose any of them, but we'll take, let's have a look. I'll take one of these, put this back. So this is it's the same thing really, well, more or less. So it's either of these two. Okay, so now the next thing they give you is the strips that I'm not going to use. I'm going to use a organic muji pad because I don't want to be depending on Wotofo to send me cotton strips. So I want to start from the beginning with different type of strips, my own, just see roughly the length. So I'll make a cutting. So like this, I know roughly it is the same size what I need. Yep. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut a piece. Now these I've got tons of, so I can re-wick as much as I want. So this will put, I'll just make it a bit thinner. Yep, that seems fine to me. Maybe I'll just give this a little trim. Done. Perfect. So now what we need is the coil itself and the tools for it. So oops, fiddly things. So you get 2 of these. We'll see soon what this is meant for. The O-rings we don't need for now, because this has already got O-rings on it. And this is the coiling tool. So let's put this back. And we don't need a set of these. Okay, let's put this away. So now what we've got here, this is basically a coil, yeah, but without the insides of it. So what we need to build is the mesh and the cotton to go inside. That's the whole concept of this idea. Yeah, so now you can see here there's a slot. So that's where we're going to slot in our coil in it. So what you do is you take this strip and you take the coil, make sure it's right central. Yeah, then you take your tool. So you got your coil in the middle of the cotton, you take your tool right in the middle and you fold it over the tool and you pinch. Very similar to the Nest RDA. The whole idea is it looks very familiar to me, right? Because I've done it with the Nest. So what you've got here is your coil, yeah, surrounded with the cotton and these two bits sticking out. So now what you do is you feed it in. See how it's going to work? Let's do it this way. So like this. See, here there's a slot. So you slot these two end bits of the coil through, and then you just slot your cotton through the opening, and in the same time you push gently. Yeah, so you can see already that the coil is nearly done. Now what you do is, so what you've got here is the cotton. Let me take this gently out so you can see how your mesh is inside, surrounded with the cotton. The cotton is sticking out from the slot, from the only place where it can go, and your two ends are sticking out from the back. Well, from the top in this case. So what you do is now, if you can see here, there is like a little groove. So you take one of these. Let me just put in the coiling tool again in to hold it in place. And you bend this into the groove, just like that. And then you take the rubber O-rings or stopper, whatever it's called, and this will block the top, and then you just plug this in. That's it. So now your coil is more or less done. Just cut this end bit flush. You don't want to cut your O-ring. That's it. So this is your coil done. Let me just straighten this out. Yep. So this is really how the coil is done. Now we'll just cut the leads, and I don't want to cut it too flush because I want to take them out and clean them. Maybe just a little bit more, and cut this one here. Yep, that's it. So your coil is done. Now what you do is you screw this into the base. I just want to make sure I got the cotton in here. I think I'm just going to cut a bit more here. You just don't want to cut your O-ring. That's it. And you just screw it back into the housing. See, the fluff of cotton here is, let me get something pointy that I can squeeze this in. it. That's it, done. Okay, so here's your coil. It looks like a coil that you buy in the shop, yeah? No different. So now what we're going to do is, let me give this a bit of juice so I can try it straight away. And I'm using in here just juice, apple and pear that I've got already in this tank. Oops. Let's just open it a little bit so you get your wicking ports fully open. Put a bit from the top here as well. That's it. And now we're going to take this tank off. Before we do that, you can see it's 0.3 ohm. Yep. So like this we can know if it registers the new coil. Yep. See it fairly clearly. 0.3. So let's take out this coil. So as you've seen this review on this tank, you just twist this to open. See the unlock. If you press it, you'll see that sort of the juice flow goes down and blocks the juice. So your juice is fully secure now. And now we can see how similar the coils are. This came from Vaporesso, and this is the Voopoo one. Yep, so you can see how similar they are. So this is the Vaporesso coil, and this is the new one, recognized by the green O-ring. We'll put this inside here. Oh, let me just wipe here. There's a bit of a spillage from the coil that I've taken out, not from the tank itself. The tank itself is secure. Let me just clean my fingers, and we'll just lock it now. So the new coil that I just built is in the tank now. And let's take the mods and see if it recognizes it. And you can see yourself, 0.2 ohm, 55 watts. They recommend 55 watts, 45 to 55 watts. 0.2 there, with that recommend 43 watts actually. So let's reduce it. 1 second. 1 second. 1, 2, 3. Unlock it. .45 watts. Yep. So let's give this a quick vape, see if it works. Beautiful. So now imagine you vape this now for, let's say, a few days, a week. I don't know how often do you change your coils. So you want to change your coil, clean your coil. You don't want to buy a new one, right? So this is hopefully this is going to work. So let's have a look if it works or not. Take out the coil again, put it on top. Now what we want to do is take out the coil Put this over here. Now what we want to do is straighten out these ends here. First of all, take out the okay. And now what we need is the tweezers just to pull out the coil. Before we do that, we need to straighten this one out. You might see a bit of a mess with liquid because this is simply saturated. So here we've got the coil out. So what we do is we take off the cotton that we just imagine this is already black, gunked up from your sweetened liquid or something. Okay, so now we've got here the coil that we've been using now for the last, I have no idea how long, all depends on your preference, but what we need to do now is just clean this coil. So what you need to do is, if you've got an RDA that has got two posts, parallel post type of configuration, I mean this is the Emmet moused along RTA, not RDA, so you can see that's what you need, is this type of system post, because otherwise you won't be able to plug in easily this coil. Straighten out the coil, straighten out this leg. I mean, if I wasn't on camera, it would take me fast. I just want to make sure I get it right. Plug in your coil, tighten the screws. It's really the same way I do it with the Nest, again and again. And this you'd only do every month, or how often you change. I change mine on the tobacco every 2 days, re-wick. But I don't, and then fire the coil. But here you can't fire the coil, so you do this when it's really bad, or give it a wash under the tap. Give it a quick burst. 0.2 ohm. So this coil now is burnt off all the gunk. Unscrew it. That's it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up now this process that I'm doing now. So like this, you don't have to watch the whole process of me doing this coil again. So enjoy the music and I'll get on with it. Okay, so it registered as a 0.2 ohm, and let's give this a vape. Get the airflow open. Delicious flavor from a brand new, cleaned out mesh coil that I've just finished and done again. So I've used it, let's say, for as long as you use the coil till you need a change, and then you just clean it the way I did it. Yeah, it is a bit time consuming. I mean, it's a lot easier just taking out another coil from here and putting it in. It's not expensive, but I don't do this for saving the money per se. I'm doing this for my own satisfaction. That I mean, I can spend on a mouse-to-long RTA. I can buy a few thousand of these coils. It's not the money here. It's satisfaction that I've done my own coil again and again. That I can use this now for a few months, again and again. And I still got another 5 to choose from. So one of these packets could last me for years. Okay, I hope it was useful. I'll see you on top. So I've been vaping this for a few hours on the new mesh coil, what they call it, Wotofo SMRT Coil. And this is after I cleaned it, so that means I've done it twice. So the taste hasn't improved after the second time because it was new. But imagine the scenario where this is your all day vape, and after a few weeks or 2 weeks or something like that, you need to either throw away the old coil. That's what I'm going to do. This is the GTX coil that came with this with the Vaporesso PX80. So instead of throwing out the coil, you just take it out, clean it the way I've done it, and but you only need a deck that has got the post closed. This is the Geekvape Amit mouse to long RTA. So I took this deck so that you can stick it out from the outside and fire it like you've seen. The Nest RDA is a very, I mean, the Nest RDA's idea was much before the Wotofo SMRT Coil. But what I do is I take out all this wick, take out the coil, stick it out from the other side in the post, fire it, wash it, fire it, wash it. I've been using this for months. Perfect flavor, every single draw. I wanted to see if I could do the same thing with the Wotofo one. So they give you 6 coils instead of using, I don't know how often you vape, if this is your all day vape, direct to long on sweet liquids. Mine is naturally extracted tobacco on mouse to long RTAs. But here as well, I changed my wick every 2 days because it's NETs, and I clean my coil and they last me for weeks. So with this setup, this will last me for months on each coil. So I still got another 5 coils. It's not the money. Yeah, I would not hesitate to buy a good mouse to long RTA or any other device that I can buy quite a few coils for that money. It's the fact that you don't have to throw away coils every single time you feel the flavor is going. You can just simply take out the coil, clean it, redo the process, and you got a brand new coil. And I want to just show you something else. You can see when we did the close-up, you got the 2 legs of the coil. One goes into the groove and one sticks out from the other side that you snip. Yeah. So when I put it back, the one that went into the groove was too short already. So the only one that is can see visible is the one that I snipped on the other side. The main thing is that you have one piece of that coil sticking out to get contact. That's all you need. And the other one that was supposed to be in the groove is somewhere just below the groove. You can't see it here, but I've seen it when I looked in the close-up. So it works perfect, and perfect flavor. And it registers perfectly on my mod, 0.2 ohm, 40 watts. Yep, perfect flavor. Just the same way I've done with the Nest. Yep, the Nest I could use its own deck to clean the coil. Here you can't, so you need to have a deck that has got post next to each other. Otherwise, you won't be able to fire it. If one post is here, one post is here, you'll ruin the whole shape of the coil. So that's one thing you do need, is such a deck. You could use your PnP coils instead of the PnP coils. This is a PnP for the Drag X, but at the moment I've got the RTA on it. This is I can't show you, but you can use this coil on a anything that goes with a PnP coil, any tank. It's the same idea. So it's versatile. GTX PnP coils, and yeah, perfect. Oops, no airflow. You turn the tank. If you watch my review on this, very nice little sub-ohm kit. Okay, I hope it was helpful to you. It was a bit of an experiment. I didn't use their wick. I used my muji pads, my ordinary that I use on all my RTAs and RDAs, everything I've got. All my rebuildables, I use this. I didn't want to be depending on anything that I need to buy more of. So it's a one-off, and this will last me now for, I don't know how long, over a year, that's for sure. Because I still got 5 coils in here, and each one I can use for a few months by cleaning and re-wicking. So yeah, you got the mass. It take me a while to finish them all off. Okay, this was my review on the smart coil from Wotofo and how to change it and clean it and re-wick it and use it again and again and again. Until the next review, take care, enjoy your vape, bye bye for now.